As you can see, this is a big fly. This is the smallest size of the fly I do. This has got an 8 and a 6 on it. Most of them I'm going to do are in 4s and 2s and 4s, 5-inch fly. This fly is kind of a sculpin, crayfish, leech, I don't know. It's got everything going on. It's a pretty simple fly though. It looks pretty complicated, but it's not. It's pretty simple. It's been a great fly for us on the Yellowstone, Madison, Jefferson. I know the guys back in Michigan have been doing real well with it too. Like I said, it's a pretty simple fly. You can see it's articulated like all of them, and it's got a lot of movement with all the rubber legs and stuff. I'm going to start with a size 6 1750 Daiichi. It's a straight eye hook, just like the rest of them. I like straight eye in the back, straight eye in the front. That's not critical. It's however you like to do it. I've got a number 6 on the back. It's going to be one of the smaller versions here. I'm going to start with 4 strands of traditional Flashabou, copper Flashabou for the olive. We do this fly in olive, black, white, tan, and kind of that root berry orange thing for the molting crayfish. So I'm going to tie this in on the back side, just like I do the others. All of the Flashabou on any of my flies, I don't like it to be in your face. I want it to be subdued, so I'm going to have it behind the marabou. So I'm going to tie it on one side, wrap it back. I don't care if one's longer than the other, if 2 hang way back, if one's in the middle, it doesn't matter. It's all going to be inside a little, and when they're a little erratic, one length, it just seems to be, you'll see it when it's in the water, one will be sticking out, but one will be off to the side. It's just a little bit of flash. I'm going to sandwich these two, or this marabou. I'm going to put one on each side of the fly. And I do that if I've got really thick plumes of marabou, I can get away with one. Generally speaking, I'm going to run 2. I'm going to put one on each side of the fly. I'm going to use the rooster on this one. I don't know how I decide. Some days I like it. The rooster hackle's got a little bit more sheen to it, a little brighter, and the schlappen hackle's a little duller. I have no idea how I decide. One day I do it one way, one day I do it the other. But the end result is almost indiscernible, other than this one will have a little bit more shine to it. I'm going to lay it underneath the hook right here, like this, not on the side. And that's going to come up the side of the hook right there. And now I'm going to use Peacock ice dub. I like to buy these economy boxes of ice dub. We use a little bit of that stuff. We're going to tie in, I'm going to use the loop just like I did with the crayfish. We're going to come in here, just like that. 2 variegated olive silly legs. I'm going to drop these in here. You can do these after you've dubbed if you want. It's a little easier. You're not fighting them, not dropping them like that. I leave them long just so I can trim them when I'm done. But I've got 2 in there, just like that. So now I'm just going to take my dubbing. Doesn't have to be real thick. The body's already got a little bit of build to it. I'm going to take the dubbing, spread it out in my hand, kind of work it in so it's kind of even all the way, just a little bit thinner at the tail. And I'll take that, work around my little chest cam here, open the loop up. You can use crystal chenille, you could use anything you want for the body. I just love this. I love dub bodies, and I love that peacock dubbing. Get it right up to the base of where you had it, and then undo those legs. Now we're going to wrap this hackle forward, shiny side forward. I'll wrap this without my rotary so I don't have to fight those legs again. If you were using schlappen right now, this would be you'd obscure a lot more of the dubbing. At the very end here, I like to work that hackle. The schlappen, you don't have to worry about it as much because it's webbier, but if you can, try to get a little bit of that webby shaft at the very end of the hackle, right at the front there. I don't know why, just kind of, it dresses the fly up a little bit and makes it look a little fuller. But a lot of this is going to get covered up once we put the articulation in. Okay. Now I'm going to drop these, make them about 2 inches each. So they're just hanging around there. 2 inches long. I don't want them to go past, when they're laying back, I want them to go about to the middle of the tail. So when you lay these back here, you can see it's about to the middle of the tail. I was stretching that a little bit. So you can see that, and they just kind of hang in and out and flop around. So we'll set him aside for a second. Going to put our number 4 1750 in. Again, it's one size bigger in the front hook. Now we're going to drop in just the same loop, the same way I've done it. Here I'm going to, you see, it's not going to be, usually it's 3/4. I would say this one's maybe a half, maybe not quite a ½ inch between the two hooks. But again, you can decide that on your own. And the shorter that articulation is, I don't care how good the connection is. Occasionally, you're going to have the fly foul. We've got the 2 beads on there. Now I want to do the same thing as I did with the crawfish. I want to add a little bit just to cover this up. So I'm going to take, again, I'll use the rooster feather just because I'm using the other one all the way up there. I'm going to take it off at the bottom, and this is called after shaft down in here, this fuzzy stuff. I'm going to strip this off, and I'm going to cut it back just a little bit, and I'm going to use this, I'm going to tie this in butt first, underneath, and I'm going to wrap this, and this is going to just try to cover up a little bit of this connection. It just dresses it up a little bit. Take him out of there. Take your 3-finger grip so you're forward like this. Just slide it right over top of the hook. And I'm just going to, that shaft's pretty thick right there. I'm just going to pick it up, cover it up like I did with all the marabou. Just going to go right over it, so if a fish does get a bite on that shaft, he's not going to bust it, and because he's going to hit the now you can see it's just kind of, it just covers it up a little bit, makes it a little cleaner looking. So now I'm going to put another rooster hackle in. This one's going to wrap forward just like the other one did. You're looking for the biggest hackles you can find. I'm going to tie it in tip first, underneath. Now I'm going to hook my dubbing loop in. I've already got my hackle tied in. I'm going to move forward to the 2/3 point. That's where my collar's going to start. So I'm not going to need a lot of dubbing. I'm going to tie the legs in right after the collar, so I don't have to mess with those this time. Behind my little Achilles heel here. I'm thinking about just leaving this here tying with it for the rest of the year to see if I can get used to it. I hooked a little bit of that hackle. Alright. Ooh, I know I do have him. Just keep that hackle out of the way. Get a little thicker as we go forward. Run this hackle forward. Shiny side to the right. Cover up, go right over top of that other hackle. Nice clean wraps. And I'm going to pick up a little of that fuzzy after shaft right there. I like that at the ends of these it's webby looking, and it's got a neat look to it. Now, got just enough room to put our collar and our head on, so I'm going to take some olive deer hair to match, just close as I can get it. Same as before, I'm looking for really coarse feeling hair, good long clean color change at the tips. Grab my stacker here. Wrap them in. Okay, I'm at a pretty good piece of hair here. I'm going to do 1/3 of the length of the hook right there. I'm going to switch hands, take it off. I'm going to do 1, 2, a little tighter, push my thumb on it, and then tighten down the third one. Nice big thick collar, nothing underneath. You can see the body, there's no hair down there because I only pushed my thumb just hard enough to have it separate around, and now I got that nice little compact amount of deer hair right there that every time I put through it, I'm just compressing all of that, and it's that collar, you couldn't pull it out with a horse. Now I'm going to put these eyes just in front of it, and the reason I put the eyes on now, it's just easier. You're never dealing with trimming around the eyes with your collar. I put them on the bottom, just 3 or 4 turns behind each eye, and then just really reef them down, and then a couple underneath, and you're locked in. Now we got the big collar. Now I'm going to take 3 of the variegated olive, put them right behind the eyes. This guy's in the way here. Right behind both eyes. Get them kind of even so they're the same length on each side. It's not critical. You can trim them, but just don't have one really short on one side, because you can't really add to them. Leave them hanging around there. Now I'm going to take a pretty good gob of hair, clean it out. Got my legs hanging around. Trim the butts off. We're going to put these right on top. 1, 2, a little tighter. 3, let it spin. Got 1 turn. Chase 1 more through it if you think you didn't. I wasn't quite sure I got that locked in, so I put 1 more turn through it. Now I'm going to do off to the side. 1, 2, 3. Nice and tight. See here, I'm just going to wiggle through that thread. I'm not going to let it knock any of that hair down. I'm not pressing into the hair. Just get him out of there. To each one right into the side of the hook, into the eye. Pull him tight. Done. Okay, we got ourselves a bushy looking dungeon here. So first thing we got to do, just like with the other ones, anytime we're working with hair, we're going to take the razor blade, we're going to make sure all these legs are down flat. We're just going to put on our little glasses. They aren't broke, they have a magnet. So I want to keep the legs below. If you keep them below the eyes, you'll never clip them. So I'm going to take this, do a nice clean. I'm always a little nervous when I do this one because I got these legs hanging down here, but get a nice flat bottom here. Now that those legs are out of the way, and we're right down to the eye. Bend the blade just like we did before, just at the, right at the angle you like. Mine's about right there. And get these out of the way. Securing my hand against my backside of my hand against my fingers, Everything's fluffy. Take the blade, push it in right to the collar. You can bump that collar. You can go right up and bump it. You won't cut. That hair is a little stiffer because it's closer up to the guard hairs. Just butt right into it. You know, make sure it's the shape you want. Take him out of the vise. Make sure your legs are out of the way. Fluff them off to the side. Then I take, sorry about that. Then I take the scissors and go up the head and get the shape I'm looking for. A little light on this side. Don't know how that happened. Must be bouncing off the eye. It's getting nice and fuzzy. And then we'll take the legs and I take them back so that they go back to the back hook, almost to the middle of the back hook. Not quite, maybe a quarter of the way back the back hook, and just leave them hanging all over the place. When it's getting stripped through the water, they're gonna go everywhere, so they just kind of hang around. And then I just go in and open that so you can see the eyes a little better underneath there. Not that it's that critical because it's moving pretty good. But that's the dungeon. This is a little bigger one, obviously, than the one over there, but you can see the pretty similar, just one size bigger. Big fat head, lots of movement from the legs, lots of the articulation shorter, but it's covered up with that bottom side of that rooster hackle. And that's a fish getter. They like this guy.